Alright guys, I am going to, for this video I'm going to be doing a guide on deck crafting for Hearthstone. So let's just go to my collection real quick. I'm actually going to make a I'm going to make a deck, but I'm not actually going to use it. It's going to be an example deck. So basically you can just kind of see, well, everyone has their own way of making decks, but I'm just going to show you mine, give you some ideas, tips, all sorts of stuff. So, for now, let's just do a simple Druid deck. Druid is also, by the way, the best class of the year currently, because they just have the best cards. Also, I personally think Warlock is actually a really, really good class. It's just, see, my only problem with Warlock is they have no demons. They have demons, but they have almost no good legendary demons. So, a card that summons like a random demon, like, what's it called, Bane of Doom. It costs 5 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it kills it, summon a random demon. There's not really any good demon to be summoned. They don't have enough new cards. So let's hope they get some soon, because it's actually a really cool class. It used to be really good. Still don't know how, or they must have had some good cards. All right, so while I'm making this deck, I'm going to go over the schematics. That's a dumb word. I'm going to be going over the factors you need to look at for making a deck. One thing that kind of makes a deck not very good is, let's say I had some 1-cost cards like this, and some 3-cost cards like this. Like this, you don't really need to know what the card is for this. I'm just showing you something. Some 3 cards like this. That's the problem, what I just did right there. Because if you have a mana gap, a gap between cards, like let's say it's the second turn, I have 2 mana, but I have no 2-cost cards in my deck. What am I going to do with that extra mana? I'm not getting the most effectiveness. I'm not getting as effective mana use out of my cards as I would if I had, for instance, let's say I had, oh shoot. Let's say I had that Turtle and Forger. It'd be a lot better if I had this, because if I just had a bunch of 4-cost cards, then like with this right here, I'd be able to get the maximum effectiveness out of my mana use if I were to draw that card. So don't have too many gaps. It's okay to have a few, because for depending on what type of deck you make, which I'll get to in a moment, you need different types of cards, which sometimes just cause mana gaps. Mana gaps actually aren't that much of a problem with control, because the whole idea is to just have a bunch of 8-cost or high-cost minions. However, it's a pretty big problem, especially with aggro and mid-range. So anyways, let's start making this deck. For this deck, I'm going to be making a control ramp deck. A ramp deck is usually only made by Druid. I think I heard once that there's another way to do it, but it's rather confusing. You have to have these 4 cards: Greedy Sprite, Wild Growth, because you want to get as much extra mana as possible. So we're gonna want to put in Nourish in there. Do that, and what it does is, it doesn't usually have Healing Touch. I just like to throw it in there sometimes. You're gonna have tons and tons of armor cards, like like Ferocious Howl. This is going to be one of the biggest. It's not so much as a healing card, but as a replacement for lost health. So it has bark skin, and like I said, or I didn't actually say this yet, but every control deck, or not every control deck, but a lot of control decks usually have at least one pair of 2-cost minions. So that's this deck because of its battle cry. So we're gonna put bark skin in there, and this goes well with the type of deck we're making because this deck uses a lot of armor gaining cards. So we've got a bunch of spells already. We have Nourish. When it comes to this deck, you don't actually want the healing spell as much as you want spells that gain armor. For instance, it'd make a little bit more sense to get Bite rather than Healing Touch. Do we have any more? Alright, so now we can start adding minions. So we're gonna add that one. And come on, go. What's my time at? 6 minutes. Wow, I'm doing a lot better. Filters, 7 cost minions, and oh dear lord, what did I click? I'm gonna use that. Now, as far as healing goes, this is a very, very big part of your deck. I typically like this card because of how easy it can be to play it sometimes. We're gonna throw in, how about a bulldozer and actually, you know what? We're gonna try to keep it at 8 cost only because of this card right here, Silver Vanguard. I typically don't like using it, but it's a fairly simple recipe. We can put that in there. Let's frick. Trying to figure out a way to incorporate some more like elementals, but then again, that's more so for gosh darn, what am I trying to say? That's more for Shaman. Alright, so this is our Druid deck we've just made. It's a ramp control deck, so let's see how it fares on standard. Oh yeah, guys, by the way, definitely go play the new Tavern Brawl. I played it, and personally, I think Paladin is the best deck there, or like the best. It's very unique. When it comes to decks, I'm a little confused on how decks are categoried, because there's so many different kinds that they don't cover in the guides I look at. Like, I even looked at the official Hearthstone guide, and it doesn't make sense, because sometimes I see decks that are just so different that I don't even know how they work. So I really gotta try and learn all I can. But for now, let's battle. Oh dear lord. A golden Uther. Why? Every time I play standard.
I must protect the wild.
This is ridiculous. And I don't have wild growth at all. Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. 1 minute. Alright guys, I'm back. I decided it'd be a lot easier to test it out on a practice match against the innkeeper instead of actually going into standard or casual to play it.
Let the hunt begin. I must protect.
Yeah, so this hand sucks. I'm gonna put the entire thing back. You know, it'd be really nice. Innervate, wild growth, wild growth. Typical.
For the wild. Don't mess with Tusker.
Yikes. Alright, let's keep going. Put that in there. In this situation, you would definitely want to do that. So now we're going to have 7 mana when our turn comes back. So this is how you play a ramp deck. Basically, you would use this spell because we're going to use this spell because we're kind of in a pinch. Do that. We're also going to do that. Do that.
For the wild.
Now he's completely screwed. Also, oh, I forgot to mention this. One of the really huge important aspects of a deck is make sure you have cards that last longer, like minis that last longer, because if you are playing a match and the opponent has 8 cards in their hand and have been able to counter your minions, and you have about 3 cards in your hand, that's a bad sign, and it probably means you're gonna lose. Usually that decides the match for me because I'm not very good at making decks. Oh my god, I bet I am not losing this. No, sirree. Shoot. Well, this is unfortunate. We're gonna play this. I'm gonna play that.
My favorite.
And we're just gonna attack that. Yeah, so make sure you play play cards that don't that last longer, that they're not gone in a minute. Or they're not gone in like a single turn. It's a huge mistake you could make. Oh my lord, oh my gosh, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. I literally don't, oh my god. Frick. Play that. Play that. Oh shoot, I probably should have played him.
My favorite.
Well, darn. Well, my time's up anyway. But basically, that's the basis of the deck. So, if you have any questions, comment down below. Otherwise, see you later.